Sometimes I wish that I didn't use Twitter, I didn't have Twitter or any of this stuff because I would learn a lot less about some of the individuals whose shows I do like. Today is my birthday, so leave a like on the video for a happy birthday. And by the way, here's the only birthday gift I could ask. If you're not already following or subscribed to the channel and you just have been a lurker, please subscribe or follow today. Or tell a friend about the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. I don't use X or Twitter as much as I used to because it's ruining all the things that I like. Sometimes it's okay to like things. I see a lot of people really trying hard to complain about like the Fallout series on Amazon. I'm not like a Fallout head. I'm not like the games are not in my wheelhouse. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying, I have no skin in that game. From what I've seen, overwhelmingly, Fallout fans seem to like the show. And yet I still see people being like, the show's woke crap. I'm like, I don't see that anywhere. I don't see any. Anyway, the other side of that is you get to hear from Hollywood weirdos. And one of the shows that has been constantly recommended to me that it's worth checking out is a show called Reacher. It's on Amazon. And much like The Terminal List and other shows like with Chris Pratt, they were pretty good. I didn't watch, I don't know, was that Stallone superhero movie on Amazon? I don't know. Amazon does have some pretty good shows. And well, now I have zero interest in watching it because yes, you can separate the art from the artist. I think I do it every time when I listen to music. But as I've gotten older now and as the years have passed, I know that my free time is at a premium. And so I just don't feel like giving money to people that hate me or hate people or are dumb or, like hate my friends. And here's the Reacher star going on several unhinged rants over the past couple weeks against Christians and against police officers. By the way, he plays, it's so insane. Cops get away with ending people's lives all the time. Reacher star Alan Ritchson believes cops can end people and just get away with it. The facts don't back him up at all, and the data is clear. He will get away with the copious amounts of extra THT and HGH all the time. I mean, like, I'm out on the series now. I'm out on it. You see this. Reacher star Alan Ritchson made some truly unhinged comments about cops. Ritchson has flown to superstardom over the past couple of years and has become one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He mostly appeals to a traditional fan base that includes a lot of conservatives and people in the middle America who just want to be entertained. To the surprise of some of his fans, he once wore an Arrest the Cops that ended Breonna Taylor t-shirt. Taylor, of course, lost their life during a police raid after her loving boyfriend opened fire first. The details around the case remain incredibly murky, but multiple officers involved were also charged in connection with the incident. Ritchson thinks this is an example of how police just get away with ending citizens all the time. Quote, "That was a tragic case. Cops get away with this crime all the time. And the fact that we really can't hold them accountable for their improprieties disturbs me. Really? What about that guy that's sitting in prison for political reasons in Minnesota after St. Floyd ascended upon high? He's in prison. Did he get away with it? Did who got away with it is all the idiot clown criminals that caused billions of dollars in damage in the aftermath. I still believe that man, while perhaps acted irrationally, or could have been more careful, he was definitely a political, he was a scapegoat. I don't think he should be in prison, period. If you want to fire him as a cop, fine. But there are plenty of examples of this case. And then he goes, we should completely reform the way that we do it. I mean, you shouldn't have to spend more time getting an education as a hairstylist than you do a cop. Oh, so he's like a baseline NPC. We should make it very hard for people to make mistakes or abuse their powers in institutions, Ritchson told the Hollywood Reporter when talked about wearing the shirt and his thoughts on police allegedly getting away with just ending people willy-nilly. Yes, Alan Ritchson, a man I thought was smart, apparently believes cops just get away with ending people all the time, but the facts tell a very different story. There have been 4 incidents of unarmed people in America in 2024, according to the Washington Post database. That represents 0.000000012% of the nation's population. Now let's dig into that information. Victor Figueroa Roblero had an incident. Roshad Graham, Terrell, whatever. Obviously, there was people involved in that. I don't need to go and break it all down because he's just dumb. I mean, Reacher is a show that is supposed to appeal to like guys, right? This guy is a guy's guy. I mean, he's like built like the Giga Chad meme. And you can see, I enjoyed the first season of Reacher and had high hopes for this guy, that he was a decent person because he claims he's a Christian and has a ministry on YouTube. Turns out he actually enjoys getting praised by his Hollywood cohorts more than actual truth. Definitely strange to see a guy like him voting Dem. His comments have turned me off to watching the rest of Reacher. So people are just saying like, no. Amazon has been promoting Reacher to us. Now I know not to watch it. I mean, like, this is super disappointing. I really like that series. Reacher star Alan Ritchson attacks Christians who support the R word. First of all, he calls Trump, like he took advantage of women against their will, which is not true. He's their poster child. What do you want to bet this guy goes to like a non-denominational megachurch? And you see this unbounding into comics. Reacher star Alan Ritchson baffled at religious support for Donald Trump. He's a con man and an R word, and yet the entire Christian church seems to treat him like their poster child. Well, first of all, I'll tell you this. That's just not true. I am not an overtly religious person, but I know what issues are floating around on social media, and you need to just look at people's disappointment in Trump's position on abortion. There are a lot of people who want him to have a much stronger stance. So I wouldn't exactly call him their poster child. In lobbing admitted grenade in the court of American political discourse, Reacher star Alan Ritchson has revealed that not only does he believe that Donald Trump is a terrible, an R word and a con man, but he also finds that Christian rights support of the politician is downright unreal. Ritchson, who readers may also recognize as having portrayed Smallville's incarnation of Aquaman and Titan's take on Hank Hawk Hall, offered his opinion on a former U.S. president in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Amidst a lengthy conversation ranging from his time filming a live-action adaptation of Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels to his upcoming role in Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which, by the way, looked pretty cool, was eventually asked by Gardner, because that's what they always do, if he could elaborate on his own Christian faith. See, I think he thought, oh no, I can't say I'm Christian. I got to quick obfuscate that fact by going after Drumpf. I'm a Christian quite simply because of what Jesus calls us to do, love other people until death. It doesn't mean that we're all to be hung on a cross, but how can I suffer for you? Explained the Reacher star. That's a beautiful thing. Further elaborating on his religious beliefs, Ritchson then opined that Christians today have just become the most vitriolic tribe. It's so antithetical to what Jesus was calling us to be and do. You could argue that you could just look at this, OnlyFans chick being reformed and the conversation around that. But I don't think I would say Christians are the most vitriolic. Anyway, to that end, of course, he took aim at the ever-rising support for U.S. President Donald Trump and has consistently held and continues to hold among Christians, lamenting Trump is this and that, and yet the entire Christian church, I don't understand it. I'll tell you what he was doing here, okay? He knows what they did, what they tried to do to Chris Pratt. The assertion that if you are Christian, then you must also be a super huge, mega American, which just simply isn't true. There are a lot of people that go to church that don't vote Republican. That's like one of the biggest misconceptions on the planet. I don't know what the actual breakdown is, but I mean, you could take for every fire and brimstone church that almost certainly votes Republican, and there's like a super mega non-denominational church that has 1,000 times their congregation that probably all vote Democrat or don't vote at all. So, I mean, I think that most Christians probably vote Democrat or not at all, or maybe libertarian or something like that. I mean, it's so weird. And then he goes on to apologize for the Catholic Church and blah, 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 blah. I mean, by the way, again, back in November 2022, the guy announced that he would be deleting his personal Twitter account to protest what he believed Elon Musk's active allowance of election manipulation on the platform. These guys are all bought and paid for. They probably just say whatever it is that will advance their career. I'm willing to bet that most people in Hollywood are apolitical, but I'm just out on Reacher. You wanna go after Christians, you wanna go after cops. I'm just cool with not watching your show. It's cool. There's so many great movies I've never seen, so many great documentaries I've never seen, so many great books I've never read. I'm cool with it. Like, you want to play to that side of Hollywood? Fine by me. I'm out. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.